Well, hello and welcome to the Autoshop. I'm sitting here playing Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, as you can see up there. They announced that the new one, 2021, would be coming out probably a couple months ago, but I figured this is a nice kind of chill game just to go over news, kind of go over car stuff, make a community, kind of discuss some stuff, and just get a little gameplay here and there. Something that I can just play with. You can see I've got a bit of experience already. This is one of my previous saves. I will start over if this gets enough interest and I can do a series on it, but for the most part, I'm just going to be playing on this. I'm level 24 up there. And I've got some stuff. You see, I've got a little over $100,000. This game is pretty much exactly how it sounds. Car Mechanic Simulator. Um, you can buy cars, you do orders. I've got the Bentley, the Alpine here, and the Chevy. Here are three order cars, and the Audi currently here on the lift is my car. It's stripped bare bones down to the frame. I've been working my way up to level 30 so I can get my interior clean like kit, and I can get my welder to start doing repair damage on my frame. But for now, I'm gonna do just kind of a little walkthrough. This first episode is more gonna be kind of a walkthrough, what my intentions are with this. And further down the line, we'll see how it goes. A couple of my things I like to stick to is every time I raise or lower a vehicle, so I raise that, push one of the boxes on the side, I swap to the other car. So I raise the Audi, I'll work on the Chevy. But I'm going to drop that back down for now. And we've got the S10 here, looking at mostly suspension repair and trying to get a couple of undiscovered parts, run tests and stuff here and there. And we've got the Bentley and the Alpine, as I said before. We're starting off by taking off the rims of this seat or the S10. I don't know what motor this has in it. One carb V8 overhead valve is what it is. I'm gonna just have to take apart most of this bad stuff that I see, but I don't quite know what it is at the moment. I'll just have to figure out what's going on with it. So now as we're kind of getting this front left taken apart, I'm gonna have to buy obviously some new parts here and there for replacement or repair. But what I do is I just go through and I like to bulk order parts as stuff comes together. So like say I go over to the repair table and I need a new one of those front knuckle C's, front axle knuckle C's, and I don't have it, I'll order like 3 or 4 of them at a time so that I've got plenty of them when the time comes. Still missing one part, and I think it's going to be the steering rack. So I'm going to pop that, I'm going to raise it up, and going over to the Audi, as I said before. And all we're doing here, pulling the piston. I try and keep things as realistic as possible. For the most part, like dealing with tires, doing the star pattern. I mean, but some mistakes will happen, like just on this tire over here, for example, if I'm pulling this one out, my cursor might go over the lug there. Well, I guess the bolts in this case, because they don't really do lug nuts in the game. But if it goes over and I accidentally get it, I might do the two next to each other, but I'll try to keep going on the star pattern. I don't try to keep it, or I try to keep it somewhat realistic, but in the game mistakes happen. After doing a little look-see on the back end there, I don't actually know if I needed to replace that at all, or take those tires off. Everything on the rear end looks good on this S10. So we're off the S10 and we're making our way over here to the repair bench, and you can hear it when it succeeds. It's kind of, you get that hammery sound when it fails. But the hammery sound also just exists in general. Like that. You get the hammery sound when it fails. But you just keep going through. And I'm going to spend a lot of money on this because this will save a lot of money on... I'm going to keep going through and I'll finish this off, but this repairing saves a lot of money on parts. I will break my little rule here of switching back and forth between cars here and there, but for the most part I try and keep it together. Oh, and this car wants a 51% thing, so I won't install any parts less than 51%. Here, and I've kind of run out of the parts that I need to do this, so I'm going to do a shopping haul real quick. I can open my tablet up, and I've got all the parts that I could need or want for these cars. And I'm going to kind of get my order in here, and I will come back with you. Alright, so now we're back, and I'm going to start putting some of this stuff together. We got the wheel hub, or the wheel knuckle. We got the bottom suspension arms. I probably could have done a little look-see here and there to see if there's some older bushings I could put in. There are. And I gotta sell a lot of these old rubber bushings, those 30% ones. Make a little money back on them and see what we can do. But I'm gonna just keep sitting here, plugging away, putting this together. Just a little bit of suspension repair, and yeah, I'll have to keep working on that Audi. Next step on that guy is to pull out the crankshaft off the engine. I'll have to re-lift it, or I guess re-drop it to pull out the block after I pull out the crankshaft. But that's alright. That's all part of this little work here. But I try to keep stuff, as I mentioned, as close to possible. But it is a game, so you know. And star pattern. Got one tire back on. I'm gonna pop both these rear tires back on real quick. I double checked there. That's what I paused to see if all four tires are the same. And all four tires are in fact the same size. A 225/65. And then all four rims are the same size. But we got that together. And new sway bar. Put the end links back on, they weren't damaged. And in a little bit, I'll have to show you guys how the puller machine works. The spring puller. I don't know the official name for it. I just know what it does. We gotta order some wheel hubs real quick while I'm sitting here. Wheel hubs. Or wheel bearing. There we go. Wheel hub bearing. I'm gonna order 20 of them. That's what I mean by my bulk buy. Got plenty of them for next time. And I just gotta install the string. You just put it together like you would with a brake caliper. And wheel hub bearing goes in. Wheel hub cap goes back in. And we got the inner and the outer tie rods. I did not buy any tie rods. And I can put this on. Let's buy some tie rods. Buy like 8 of these, and I'm gonna buy like 4 of the outers, just in case. Get that. Unfortunately, you don't get a discount in this game, like you would in real life, buying a bunch of stuff all at once. Tires are back on. I know I've got to put a couple of things back together on that right end, like the shock absorber here's got to go back. So here we are, we're doing the test path on that Alpine. Just doing a couple more tests to get it kind of straightened out here. You just drive it up and you accelerate and then you try and brake and it resists you, and on both axles, and then it jiggles the suspension a little bit, and you get that all set up. I mean, it's a lot more complex than that, but that's about as simple as I can explain it. And put this back up on the lift. And so it looks like, obviously, well, with the brake problems, a lot of the discs, pads, calipers, but because we've got the one missing part, usually that means it is, yeah, well, so usually it's an ABS part, and in this case it looks like the ABS module. So we got that down. Pop that off. You can see the gearbox is a little messed up. So we're going to pop off those tires. And we got to pull the drive shafts out, or the drive axles out, rather. And same for the other side. And I imagine we'll probably have to take all 4 tires off. Like that. That's what I mean with the trying to do the star pattern, but it doesn't do it. And I messed it up there because I was trying to talk. But that's alright. That's just what I mean, more or less. I'm gonna have to go back into the engine bay, pull that starter off the top. But what I was gonna say as well is, you may notice as I replace stuff, the Audi here, when I pull this block out, you can, or it will have a little Porsche logo. Just because with the mods, obviously they use the in-game content to put together, they model these cars, and they just put what is available in the game, which in this game the only V10s available are Porsche V10s, which is out of the Porsche Carrera. So when it comes to that, that's really their only option for V10s, and like with the Lamborghini Huracan and the Audi R8, they have V10s, so the only option is the Porsche V10. And same thing with a lot of the V12 cars, a lot of the Ferraris that I've got that have the V12 engine. The only V12 engine in this game is the Huayra's V12. So you might see a lot of the older Ferraris with that Huayra engine. Just because that's about all that's available. And then this has got, the Alpine's got the Porsche Flat 6 in there, the boxer engine. So you'll see a couple of weird things here and there, but for the most part it's there. And I take that back, I've realized I've just lied, because there's the Viper, the Dodge Viper, that V10 is in this game as well. But at least for the Audi, it makes more sense to put the Porsche V10 in it versus the Viper V10. So we've got all that pulled apart. We know what we're looking for. It's time to raise her up. I pulled the engine block out, correct? Yes, I did. It's just a sitting chassis. And a lot of these parts are off of that Alpine, so I don't want to repair them because they're going to go straight back into the car as is. But now, it's time to start building an engine here for the, not for the Viper, wow, for the Audi. Looking for that V10 is what we're trying to find here. And we've got a couple of Ford V8s, more Ford V8s. We got the Porsche engines. We've got the Dodge engine, the Hemi. Again, the Hemi. We've got the Viper V10. We've got the Mercedes inline 6, a couple more Mercedes engines. And I must have missed the V10, or the one I'm looking for at least. I think that's the Porsche one, but I want to double check on this car's. Yep, the V10 dual overhead cam. So I'll have to find that little bugger again, right next to the other Viper V10. And just a little look through. After the Fords, there it is. Alright. Now, we've got that broken down block. Open my inventory. Got a lot of broken down pieces. I'm going to sell a lot of this excess stuff here. So here I am. I'm in the performance shop. I need 4 of those. And I'm buying just a couple of different pieces here and there for the Audi. What I'm going to need for the car. Just based on what I'm looking at here. I'm buying for just the regular old V10. And one thing you'll notice is it's got, for some reason it puts the number after. So like you've got the V8 overhead valve I, and then it puts the regular V8 overhead valve after. It doesn't have any of the predecessors, and then the regular V8 is after. Same with the inline engines. You've got the i3, because 3 comes before 4, but B becomes before D, comes before S, but then all of that becomes before nothing. So that's how that kind of works. And we're buying just the regular V10 heads, which I just bought. And then we're just going to keep looking through for extra parts. I'm going to need my exhaust manifolds for the V10. And it is somewhat alphabetical, but like I said, it does get a bit confusing. I don't actually see the exhaust manifolds for the V10. Oh, right there. I need 2 of them. I'm gonna need flywheel and I don't actually know how the exhaust is put together on that, but fuel filter, fuel pump. We need 2 fuel rails for the V10, 10 ignition coils, but I think I've got some, so I'm gonna buy 6. Then we're just looking for other stuff. Intake manifold for the V10. I gotta buy 10 pistons, because I don't think I've got any extra pistons. The power steering pump, I'm gonna buy a V8, because I believe that's the one that's on here. If not, I'll be buying another one. Then, we got our air filter. I need 10 spark plugs. Throttle for the V10. I don't... Oh, right there. The W12 and V10, they share the same throttle. That should be good for now. And it's about time to start putting this motor together. But before I do that, before we put that together, I think that was a good kind of introductory episode to the shop. I'm going to be recording one right back to back with this because I'm in the mood to play this. So, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you want me to change on this, if you want me to keep it going, if you want me to start over. I'm willing to do whatever. So, thank you very much for watching. Like I just mentioned, like and subscribe. And I will see you later. Peace.